Okay, we are on letter C, part two, and we start with the Gettysburg Address. Okay, I had noticed till one of my professors pointed this out. 4 score and 7 years ago, our fathers brought forth on this continent a new nation conceived in liberty and dedicated to the proposition that all men are created equal. Now, let's look at 4 score. I'm like, what the hell is 4 score? 4 score is 20 years. Okay. I'm sorry. A score is 20 years. 4 score is 80 years. And seven, that's 87 years ago. Now, why wouldn't he just say 87 years ago? Why did he go to the trouble of saying 4 score and 7 years ago? And I ask you this question, uh, who are you more likely to listen to, an adult or a child? And in this case, you would say, of course, an adult. And that's what Lincoln is trying to do with this. He's trying to make the United States seem older than what it actually is. By saying, okay, 87 years ago. No, no, no. By saying 4 score and 7 years ago, it makes it look uh, older, the United States. Now, notice this is going to be published in 1863. 87 years ago is 1776, the Declaration of Independence. And this is what he is referring to. All men are created equal, that they are endowed by their creator. Remember that? Okay, this is the Gettysburg Address. And keep in mind that he's going to give this address after the Battle of Gettysburg. Okay, so after the war, they're going to secession and nullification is going to be a thing of the past. Okay, and the South is going to be recognizing the dominance of the North. They're going to be accepting the North. They're going to be accepting the U.S. Constitution. They're going to have to be accepting an oath of allegiance. Okay, and this is where the Gettysburg Address comes in. It was a dedication to a cemetery, okay, for all the men that had died there. And in there, he talks also about the sacrifice that the men gave for their beliefs, and that this sacrifice, these beliefs will endure. Keep in mind, he wants the United States to seem older because you have countries like China that have been around for centuries. Okay, how are they financing the war? The North use government bonds. In other words, they're going to be having like IOUs. All right, buy these bonds, and after the war, we'll pay you back with interest. Also, they raise taxes and they raise tariffs. In the South, they financed the war with taxes and greenbacks. And as I mentioned, uh, this is that Confederate money that is going to become worthless after the war. Some of the people in the South had so many of these greenbacks that they used it as wallpaper. It was worthless. Okay. And what is the government, the union going to be doing? It's going to be passing several acts. The first one is the Morrill Tariff Act. And the idea here is to raise money so they can protect the country. Not only protect the country, but protect American industry, factories. They're also going to be passing the Homestead Act, and the next unit, I'm going to be going into more detail. And the idea here is to promote the Great Plains. Send people over there. Uh, you're going to be given 50 acres and you work it for 5 years and you can buy it very cheap. They're also going to be passing what are known as the Morrill Land Grant Act. And this is A&I, A&M schools. The idea here is the U.S. government is going to be sending or giving land to the states so they can open colleges. And in those colleges, they're promoting agriculture and industry. A&M, agriculture, and mechanical arts. And the idea here is educate farmers, engineers, scientists. Okay, A&M, you go over there, you learn how to be a farmer, how to be an engineer. All of these things are still available. Okay, they're also going to be passing the Pacific Railway Act, and this is going to be the Transcontinental Railroad. The idea of connecting the East and the West. Okay, keep in mind they're going to open pass this most of these in 1862. That way, you know, the Transcontinental Railroad took second place, took a backseat to the war, so it was not always funded easily. And also the idea here was, what if the West becomes too independent? And if you look at the map, you're going to be seeing that they're way out there. Okay, way out there. To go by wagon from the east to the west took anything from 4 to 6 months. Okay, and again, the priority is going to be the war, not building the railway. And then you're going to have Lincoln assassinated. Keep in mind, the assassin is going to be known as John Wilkes Booth. And at the time, he was the best known actor of his time period. That would be like if Tom Cruise were to shoot and kill President Trump today. That would be so scandalous. Keep in mind that Lincoln will be killed at Ford's Theater, and his death was worse for the South. Keep in mind that Lincoln had given a speech that said, with malice towards none. In other words, you know what? Let's forgive and forget. Let's forgive the South. Let's get back to reuniting the Union. Let's be fair. Let's be lenient. But by killing Lincoln, you're going to be seeing that the Vice President Johnson becomes president, and he's not going to be about this. Also, William Seward, who was a Republican, was wounded at that time period. And this is incredibly important because William Seward is going to be one of two men that are going to try to put the country back together, and he's not going to be nice. Okay, right here you see samples of the greenbacks. This is the Confederate money. Right here you see like the state of Texas, A&M, keep in mind, agriculture, and in this case, mechanical arts. And then when they're A&I, it's industrial. And if you notice up here, you have some more colleges that are going to be opening. Right here, you see an image of John Wilkes Booth. Right here, you see an image of Lincoln being shot, and notice how he has a knife. And over here, he's cropped out, is a general, and he's going to try and stop Booth, and he's not going to be successful, and he's going to be slashed by that knife. All right, that's the end of part 2. Thank you very much.